All right, good morning, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started because I'm excited about our speaker today and I want to let her have the time that she needs. So I'm Cherie Bennett. I'm Director of the Office of Downtown Development, and joining me is Cassidy. Is this your first Coffee and Conversations? Yay, y'all. So welcome Cassidy Kendrick, who's our new outreach and training coordinator. We are so happy to have her join our team. Y'all know that she was the Main Street manager in Tabby. So everybody say hey, shoot her a little chat message. So Cassidy's joining us. Ebony is on the line too. I can't see her, but she's on here somewhere. And also Ellen. And Ellen has some announcements for us.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I just want to kind of give y'all an update on where we are with assessments. We are still meeting with all of our in-person communities, so that is kind of taking priority at the moment. But just know that I am going through your online self-assessments and getting those ready to submit to national. But then also, I am going through all your drop boxes. So just know that by probably the end of March, very beginning of April, everything and everybody should be submitted to national. And then all of your reports and write-ups should be in there by then as well. And just so y'all know, for all of our newbies on the call, national typically sends out their accreditation, like their actual accreditation, like May, June-ish. Just depends on how quickly they're moving. So just so y'all know, that's kind of where we are with assessments. So we are working through them and, getting all of that squared away for y'all. Also, I want to mention that we are beefing up in this year our new manager resources. And so I know that a lot of our new folks have already been contacted about this, but we are hosting a new manager retreat in Thomasville, March 24th and 25th, and we're very excited about that. It'll be 2 days of deep diving into just building that foundation for y'all. There'll be a little bit of leadership training, partner panels, season manager panels, all kinds of stuff. So if you're a new manager, please sign up for that. I will make sure that I put the link in the chat in just a minute for y'all so that all of our newbies can sign up. We're thinking 3 years or less in the job is kind of our sweet spot for everybody who wants to sign up for that. And then moving on to another new manager resource, we are starting what we're calling the launch pad, which is pretty similar to a Coffee and Conversations, but also for new managers 3 years and less. So every fourth Monday of the month, fourth Monday of the month, we'll have those new manager calls. It's really more of a networking, idea sharing, issues. For if you have an issue you want to like throw out to the group and you don't want to maybe talk about it during Coffee and Conversations with everybody, this will be a smaller group. And that way you don't feel just so isolated in your job, and you have like a group of people around you. So y'all, all of our new folks should have gotten an email and calendar invite for the launch pad, but we're just really excited about that as well. And again, we may morph it. It may change. We're all kind of, sailing the ship as we build it, so to speak, for Launchpad. So, if we need to change it to topical or training or, another day, we're totally open for that right now. We're just trying to figure out what works for everybody. So, again, I really, just encourage all of our new folks to hop on those calls as well. And if you're not new and you want to hop on to Launchpad and just, you have some questions too and you feel like you're still new, please hop on as well. So we're very excited about these new manager resources this year.
Yeah. All right. I didn't see Jason on the call. So Renee, do you want to give a GDA update?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Good morning, everyone. Just real quick, just a reminder for anyone who doesn't know, spring regional meetups, registration is open. The locations are Dublin on April 7th, Hahira on April 21st, and Hogansville on May 5th. And you can go register for those right now. You can register for one or all. And of course, these are just networking meetings for anyone that's new on the call. We have some upcoming CDP classes. March 10th and 11th will be in Fayetteville with Caitlin. And then registration closes for those classes next Friday, the 27th. So if you're interested in starting the CDP program, or if you need just one or two classes, please check out what's available and get signed up. We also have classes in June on the 9th and 10th in Douglas. And then we are so excited. We will have our first round of graduates recognized at the conference in Rome this year. So if you're close to graduation, you only need one credit or whatever, Carl Vinson Institute of Government is currently reviewing to see who's close, what classes you need, and we're working on a schedule that's going to benefit the most amount of people. So you feel free to reach out to me. If you don't know what CDP is, go to the GDA website. All that information is there, the class information, that kind of thing, and registration links. Lastly, 2026 GDA conference in Rome, August 17th through 20th. Watch your emails. Our conference committee just finished up setting dates the other day. And so applications for education sessions will go out earlier this year. So please be watching your socials, your emails, all that stuff. And March 4th, we will start taking applications. So coming soon. And we'll have the silent auction again this year. So be thinking about creative and fun ideas you can submit. Remember that it can be a gift basket of locally made or grown items native to your community, a tour, etc. All of those funds collected at the conference go towards the EDGE Scholarship, which is my next plug. We're taking applications right now. So if you're thinking about going to Tulsa, if you've registered for Tulsa National Main Street, please submit an EDGE scholarship. GDA has some dollars that we're wanting to give away, and you can't get it if you don't apply for it. So if you have any questions, shoot me an email. All this information is on the GDA website. Thank you all.
Thank you, Renee.
Hmm?
All right. Well, I am going to turn it over to Robbie Parks. Y'all, I heard Robbie speak at the Create Summit down in Macon and just really enjoyed it and wanted to bring her to y'all as well. She is a business consultant with UGA's Small Business Development Center, and in her role, she has 20 plus years of experience and teaches entrepreneurs how to launch and manage and grow their businesses. And her areas of expertise include marketing and communications and graphic design and brand design and management and search engine optimization. And I love on her LinkedIn bio that she says she's a marketing strategist, instructional designer, AI enthusiast, facilitator, tech whisperer. I wish I was, and solver of problems. And then, of course, she has hashtags shop small. So I love that so much. She is a rock star, and Georgia's really lucky to have her. So I will turn it over to Robbie.
Wow, thank you so much for that wonderful, warm introduction. I'm so happy to be here. I've already said to Cherie and Ellen that Teams hates me, so I'm going to attempt to share, and let's just see what happens. So let me know if y'all are seeing this. Hopefully, yay. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I'm seeing the heads nod. Okay, just stay with me, teams. And if I start breaking up or getting choppy, throw that in the chat, please, and let me know, and I'll just turn my camera off. Sometimes that helps. So yeah, I'm here to talk to you today about cultivating an AI-powered small business community. This has been said, big nerd. So pretty much in a nutshell, I got my undergrad in IT, information technology. And when I was working on my master's, I said, should I go into computer science because that's my undergrad, or should I go into something like business? And I said, you know what? I don't know that I want to major in computer science where it changes all the time, right? Technology changes all the time. So I said, I'm going to specialize in digital marketing because that never changes. And then I got on board with artificial intelligence because, that doesn't change. So I think I'm just a glutton for punishment. But that's how that tech whisperer came to be, because I do have that techie side of my brain, and I find myself in the position a lot of having to kind of serve as the bridge between the CIO and the people who are mere mortals and don't speak techie stuff, right? But I do have my contact information on the screen. Would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. Or if you have questions afterwards or just want to touch base, I've got my email address on the screen too. I will be happy to make these slides available afterwards, and I will tell you how to get those later. Also, if we have questions as we go, please throw those in the chat. I'm going to keep an eye on that. I'll try to leave time at the end for just additional questions, but please ask those as you go, and I'll be happy to take care of those. I've got an eye on the chat right now. Speaking of chat, let me know, are you currently using AI, you personally or professionally? Let me know if you're using it and what platforms you prefer, like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity. Go ahead and throw that in the chat. This is also the part where I'll say we will sit here in uncomfortable silence until, okay, yay, thank you, Sheree. Yep, ChatGPT, yep, ChatGPT, yep. All right, seeing lots of those. No surprise. Yep, still lots of chats. Love that. All right, so that is why I have my example of ChatGPT. And we'll talk about other platforms, but this is an example of if you're saying, okay, look, I don't even know what AI is. I hear people talking about it. This is a prompt, something like what you might use. I pick Natchez just because I don't want to show favoritism to one Georgia community or the other. So I pick Natchez. And I'm basically saying, acting as you, analyze the businesses in our area. Where are the gaps and how do we get more businesses, right? Because that's near and dear to your heart. And so I sped this up because no one wants to see this think for 46 seconds. And then this is just a quick example of what it gives. Now, I don't expect you to read this. If you can, congrats on being a speed reader. But like I said, you'll get a copy of the slides afterwards, and then you can put that prompt into your own platform of choice. But this is just to show you how quickly I do pay for ChatGPT out of my pocket. So that's why you're seeing ChatGPT 5.2 thinking. We can have a whole sub conversation on, is it worth it to pay or not? I personally pay for ChatGPT, and I've recently started paying for Claude. So speaking of which, this is a question that I often get. Yes. And so I'm seeing Gemini, Alexa, Google AI mode. Yep. I get the question a lot from professionals like you, from small businesses. What's the best AI platform? What's the best one? Now, some are hyper specific. So I'm thinking Grammarly, for example, that's very specific to spelling, grammar. I use it as a Chrome extension for my search engine and browser. There are some like Gamma that's really good at PowerPoint presentations, PowerPoint type slides. Get IMG, that's going to be for images. There are tons of others, but really my answer to that is the best platform is the one that works for you. At any given time, I'm cycling between ChatGPT, which I pay for, Claude, which I recently started paying for. And again, this is me, not the University of Georgia, and Gemini. I kind of bounce back and forth more for image generation because Nano Banana, I know nobody asked me about the name. It's really good with image generation. And I've been a big holdout for that just because I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience with image generation. It's come a really long way. So if you're not using some of these other ones, set up a free account, put the same prompt in ChatGPT and the same prompt in Claude or Perplexity or whatever, and see which one you prefer. Like I said, at any given time, I'm really cycling between 2 or 3. Speaking of which, I am not part of Claude, Anthropic, but I feel like I have to give Claude a shout out because when it first came out a year or so ago, a couple of years ago, I didn't like it at all. And a colleague told me, pay for it. Paid Claude will change your life. So I paid for it and my life remained unchanged. So I was not happy with Claude, right? And again, some people loved it. It just didn't change my life. Then they came out, gosh, this is within the past year, Claude 4.0, I think. It was really good, really, really good. And so I started using Claude more and more. And then I found, like we talked about, free versus paid, my usage started getting throttled, right? So I would get cut off or I've exceeded my limits for the day. That's why I started paying for ChatGPT, just because I do this all the time and I can't be limited, right? And fun fact, see behind the veil, the University of Georgia only recently started providing, I say free, through the university enterprise AI accounts. So for a very long time, it was if you wanted to use it, you paid for it. And that's not a read against the university. That's just when people say, oh, that's easy to say the university's paying for it. No, I have been for a while. It's like, what, $20 a month? I think Claude is 17. All of that to say, I put that same prompt in Claude. This is before I started paying for it, y'all. The same prompt. And not only did it give all, I mean, not the same, obviously, but information like ChatGPT did, it also did the most. And if you see over here, my mouse moving kind of in the bottom left corner, it went ahead and prepared a downloadable document. And Claude, that's why I started paying for it, because Claude typically would just do the most. I would ask it for this and it would give me this. So this is just a sample of the 21-page document that Claude just created from that same prompt that I put into ChatGPT. I mean, the same prompt. Claude did the most. And again, this is before I started paying for it. And this is like the free version. All of that to say, if you're using chat or you're using Gemini or you're using Copilot, whatever, these AI companies are businesses. At the end of the day, they're businesses. They're always innovating and always adding more. So Claude is just an example of one that I wrote off pretty early of no, thanks, not for me, to one of my new favorites. So try that same prompt. You can start a free account in Claude or whatever. I'm not saying use one or the other, but this is just an example. If you want that whole report afterwards, I'll be happy to send it to you. I have it in a Word document and I'll be happy to send you what Claude sent me. I've not verified it, error checked, none of that. So with that caveat, but if you want to see the whole thing, I can spare you a prompt and send that to you. Questions so far? Keeping an eye on the chat. Okay, seeing none, but I do appreciate the, oh, whoa, really? I didn't know about Claude. So see, I like that. And I'm always, I kind of have to, I can't say that I'm an AI enthusiast. And that was very intentional, Cherie. Anybody that says they're an AI expert, probably they don't know enough about AI to know how much they don't know. I know how much I don't know. I'm an enthusiast. So moving on from this is just if you say, okay, I've been hearing the hype, I really don't even know what it can do. Here you go. Just kind of a use case of what you might use it for. So now let's talk about businesses, which is why we're here. We're talking about how to cultivate a community for small businesses, and that's according to the SBA, 500 or less employees, how they're using it. So let me ask you, how are businesses in your community using AI? Go ahead and put that in the chat, and feel free if you want to put your community, like you're coming from Athens or whatever, that's fine too. While you're putting that in the chat, some of you might be thinking, I don't know. And that's not uncommon. So that's why when I'm not seeing anything in the chat, I'm thinking it's not that they're not playing along. They might not know. Yeah, social media posts. Thank you, Shelby. And that's kind of, so if you're thinking, how did this marketer get so involved in AI? Because marketing was kind of the gateway into AI for a lot of people. It was social media post and blog post and rewrite my email and that kind of thing. And so that's how I got started with AI. Let's see how it can help in my area of expertise. And then how are businesses using it in other ways. So yeah, lots of creativity, marketing, and social media. Thank you for those comments. Hi, College Park. I was just there not too long ago. Yeah, seeing lots of marketing, and that's great. But businesses are using it in a lot of different ways. So if again, you're saying, I don't really know how businesses are using AI, that's an opportunity for you to check in with those businesses and start having those conversations with them. Because the fact of the matter is, small businesses are already using AI. So they're using overwhelmingly chatbots, which should come as no surprise. That's Claude, that's ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Copilot, right? The generative AI. Because artificial intelligence, that term was first used in the 50s. It's not new. And even if you're saying, oh, well, it was just for the scientists, how long have you been on Facebook or something like that? And you'd post a picture and it would say, hey, is this Robbie? Yes. It used facial recognition to tag other people. If you've been using Google or Apple to navigate in your car and it says, hey, there's a faster route available, it will tell you it's through Atlanta, and it's never faster. Do not, I've fallen for that many times. It's never faster through Atlanta. But we've been using AI for years. It was just when ChatGPT came out in November of 21-ish that it put the power of this into our hands where we could really harness it and play along, right? So no surprise there. AI powered search, this is huge. You've probably seen it yourself. And I saw a chat about that. Someone said they're using Google. When you type in something into Google or Copilot or Bing or whatever, you'll see the AI generated content at the beginning. It's really shaking up search engine optimization. I won't go into that. That's another class. Image generators. Again, I mentioned I was early to say I don't have patience. I'm walking away from this. If you have not tried, go to Google Gemini and there's a drop down. You'll see it immediately where you can pick image and it's a banana because it's nano banana. Really good. I highly encourage you. And it's easy to turn that into a video. Learning tools. This is going to be things like Notebook LM through Google. That's a free one. Data analytics and predictive analytics, that's a big one. Deep research, we started to see this with Perplexity. That was one that came onto the scene as a research kind of tool. You can use it for other things, but now ChatGPT has deep research mode, Google Gemini. Again, these are all businesses and they're all playing catch up with each other, right? So they're innovating all the time. Workflow automation is huge. We'll see an example of that of a small business that is leveraging AI for workflow automation, specialized niche tools, and then video generators. Because as image generation is coming along, video generators are coming along as well. So there are lots of free tools out there that you can even start playing around with. And I'm happy to chat offline and give you some recommendations for some of my favorites that I play around with. I always lean towards free first, just because that's what small businesses want, right? It's like, let me play around with it for free before I start investing money. And also, I'm not going to pay my money for all of the things. I need to know that it works. So I always start with free. All right. And so not only in addition to all of the tools that they're using and the types of AI, they're using it for customer service. Customer service has been completely upended, and it might be one of the ones right along with some programming that we might see go away because of AI. Marketing and sales, we've already touched on that. Product development and innovation, we'll see an example of that. Cybersecurity is huge. Operations and supply chain management, financial management, and human resources. Basically, every functional area of the business is touched by AI, and businesses are using it in every functional area. So again, I'm not asking you to self-identify, but if there's a part of you saying, wow, I had no idea, again, this is a chance for you to check in with the local community over your coffee and conversations, right? Or whatever you call it, and have that discussion of, hey, how are you using AI in your businesses? And what else would you like to learn? Michelle Gill of PayPal, I haven't found anyone who says it better. But basically, when it's understandable, relatable, AI can be a great equalizer for small businesses. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. And what we do with the Small Business Development Center is because small businesses are not usually able, I'm thinking of the hundreds and hundreds of small businesses I've worked with, maybe 2 out of hundreds and hundreds have a marketing team, right? Most small businesses don't have money for a marketing team or an HR team or a finance team. In a lot of cases, it's the business owner wearing all of those hats, right? And so AI is just a way for them to do more with less labor, less money, less time. It's a great equalizer, and it's allowing small businesses to kind of play with the big guys out there. One thing to keep in mind with AI, and this is what a lot of businesses think of too, and it's probably what you think of every day in your professional career is, okay, what's the ROI? I need to see actual impact from this. I need to know I'm getting some sort of return on whatever I'm putting into this. So this is just a quick chart to show you where businesses implemented AI in just one area, say marketing or customer service, versus 4 or more areas in their business, because we've already seen it can basically be integrated into every functional business area. You can see a return on time, a savings in time. 83% AI has saved money. 83% customer experience has improved, 90% improvements made because of AI generated insights. So again, not only is it this kind of cool new shiny thing we all want to play around with, it's also having actionable impact on small businesses and the bottom line. So hopefully I have shown you, if you're like, yeah, what's the big deal about an AI powered community, is that businesses are using it, and it really can have a measurable ROI on the impacts of the small businesses in your community. And we'll see some examples of that. One, customer experience. I've got a client where is he? He's over in the kind of Kennesaw-ish area. And for confidentiality, I can only say he has a restaurant. And he said, we started thinking, what is the biggest pain that we have a need for but don't have time for? And if you think about it, a restaurant's job is to make food, right? Pretty simple. But the phones were ringing, and we're trying to cook. We don't have time or the money to pay somebody to answer the phones all day, right? So they integrated artificial intelligence into their phone system. And so when you call them, AI answers, how can we help you today? And so when you think about what is everybody asking, what are your hours? What's your special of the day? Do you have chicken tenders? I don't know what, whatever. They program that in, AI can answer those questions. So if you think of maybe, and this is my number, this is not his number, but just say the 50 phone calls that come in at lunchtime, how many of those are probably exactly the same question or some variation of it? So they said, what's our biggest pain that we need but don't have time for? How can AI help, right? So that's what we always start with when small businesses say, we want to get more involved in AI. It's okay, what's the biggest pain in your behind right now, right? And let's look at that. All right, so actual use cases. I've kind of teased these, and now I want to show some examples. I was telling Cherie earlier that we don't have use cases in Georgia because if you work with the Small Business Development Center, and I will tell you more about us later, I promise, if you're not familiar, we are bound by confidentiality. So while I can kind of give you the gist of a client, yes, Dion, thank you. Yes, I'll make a copy of this presentation available. I'll tell you how it ends. Thanks for that. See, I'm keeping an eye on the chat, just like I promised. But we're bound by confidentiality. So without a media release, we can't say this particular business. That's why I'm not using use cases from Georgia. If you want to see the businesses that we've helped, you can go to our website, georgiasbdc.org, and you can see all of our client success stories, and we actually have media releases on those. So Soda Pup, they are a company, and it's veteran owned. You can see a little bit about the business here, how they're using AI. So they are using AI powered tools like Shopify. This is one where if businesses say to you, we're not using AI, yeah, you probably are. You probably are. Even if it's not ChatGPT, AI is so interwoven into everything we do now. Again, if you've ever asked your car for directions or your phone, you've been using AI, right? It's everywhere. It's integrated into e-commerce platforms like Shopify. Even if it's not e-commerce, lots of website platforms have where you can put a product description or information about your business and then use AI to enhance it, right? QuickBooks has AI integrated already, so they're probably using it. This particular company is using Shopify, AI tools within Facebook or the Meta if you're using Facebook and Instagram, Mailgun, and the Trade Desk. And so what they're using it for, product descriptions, that's a big one with Shopify. And if you know businesses that sell online, one of the biggest pains are product descriptions. It's like, this is the 50th shirt I have put on my website. I just don't know what else to say about shirts, right? AI is great for that. Customer service, product photography, and email optimization. Another actual use case, you can look these up. I'm not going to try to pronounce that just because I know I'll probably butcher it and I just don't want to be disrespectful unintentionally. So this restaurant group, they are out of California, I believe. And so you can see Elizabeth over here. She is the CEO, the founder of this, started as restaurants. So she started at 15 years old peeling vegetables in a small mom and pop restaurant and spent her whole career in restaurants. Notice I said restaurants a couple of times. She's got Breaking Dawn Brunch and Firstborn Los Gatos, both of which are restaurants. She's not a tech person. She's not a computer scientist, right? I want you to see how accessible it can be for actual small businesses. I don't care what the founder of ChatGPT is doing right now, right? They're nerds at a different level. And I say that with love. I am also a nerd at heart. But who cares what the billionaires are doing? This is an actual small business. And she was saying, okay, I'm working in business. What is the thing that has to be done, but is a giant pain, right? No different than answering the phone. Peeling vegetables. We have to do it. It just takes forever, right? So how they're using AI, I will let you hear this from their own perspective. Hopefully you can hear the sound. If not, I'll share a link. Thank you for that. I'm hearing we can't hear the sound. All right, let me stop sharing and see if Teams will let me do it. I'm including sound. Let's see. Let's try this again. Told it's me. All right, let's go back. Work with me, Teams. Okay, you know what? Teams is like, nope, we're not doing any of this. All right. Get myself together. One second. And now Teams is like, we're not starting over your PowerPoint. We're not doing anything. You are stuck here. All right. Go back. Share. All right. Share, sound, and share. Are you seeing it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yay. And let's try again. All right. How they're using AI. I'm glad you asked. Let's hear it out of their mouths for real this time.
BurgerBots is a food assembling machine that assembles burgers. It's here for consistency, transparency, and efficiency in the world of food. I wanted to take away the task that has the most turnover, the jobs that people don't want to do. We're here to elevate the restaurant force.
BurgerBots shows what's possible when ABB's robotics innovation steps out of the factory and into the kitchen. Our robots are bringing industrial precision, speed, hygiene, and reliability to one of the most exciting, fast-moving industries out there.
Definitely interesting. I think it's going to really transform the food industry. I was completely amazed by the complexity of the whole thing.
The combination of the human hand and the robot hand together, just spectacular.
There's a predictability of knowing that this is going to be precise every single time.
BurgerBot essentially does all of the jobs that you don't want to do. It's really quick, really efficient, and yeah, it's as simple as dropping off a patty and letting it do its thing.
How cool is that, right? And again, remember how many times I said restaurant. She took this is the biggest pain, is vegetables. Nobody wants to do it. It's a giant time suck, but it has to be done. There has to be a better way. Let's have a robot do it, right? So small businesses are harnessing the power of AI in incredible ways. And you can actually look them up, and I'll be happy to share a link to that whole video. So we've already established, I hope, how wonderful and amazing artificial intelligence is. So what can you do? First of all, when working with small businesses, understand that it doesn't always make sense, okay? For example, don't use AI just for the sake of using AI. You need to use it to solve real-world problems. If your current methods are already working, and I don't mean we've done it this way for 40 years, I mean if you've really looked at it and the way you're doing is the best, it's fine. Don't use AI. We've already talked about measurable ROI. That should be in anything that a business wants to implement. I don't care if they come to you and say, how do we start using AI or how do we start using QuickBooks? I mean, anything, they need to be able to show an ROI. And there's a reason we're not seeing AI a lot when it comes to things like mental health and controversy about people who are using ChatGPT and other things for mental health is that they are not human. They're real good at acting like human, but they're robots. They're not human yet. And so they're not great at, human judgment or empathy. So they're not great for everything. You also have to be mindful of what people are kind of feeling about AI. I always use the analogy, this is marketing, this is everything. The pendulum swings both ways, right? AI comes out, we're scared, robots are going to take over the world, it's taking away marketing jobs. Oh my God, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And now we're swinging back the other way. People are worried about the elimination of jobs. They're worried about, like, when Sam Altman, who is the owner of OpenAI, who owns ChatGPT, he spoke to the Federal Reserve and said that there are entire categories of jobs like customer service that will be eliminated from the earth because of AI. That's scary for people who are doing customer service jobs. Programmers are kind of worried right now. Also, there's lots of environmental concerns. This power comes at a cost, and it's electricity and water. You might have already in your community started hearing about the data centers and the backlash because of that. Also, privacy. There are kind of big brother concerns about what the technology can do. For example, you might have seen this during the Super Bowl.
Pets are family, but every year, 10 million go missing. And the way we look for them hasn't changed in years. Until now. One post of a dog's photo in the Ring app starts outdoor cameras looking for a match. Search Party from Ring uses AI to help families find lost dogs. Since launch, more than a dog a day has been reunited with their family.
Be a hero in your neighborhood with Search Party. Available to everyone for free right now. Join the neighborhood at ring.com.
What'd you think about that? I thought, and feel free to put it in the chat. Now, I thought, as a jaded AI marketing person, oh, the puppy, they found the puppy, right? Like, that was my thought. What were your thoughts, or what are you hearing? You might have already heard some of the comments on that. And if you haven't, you're like, I don't know, it was a dog. Yes, thank you. Big brother. That people, and again, when I say as a marketer, if you know all the data Big Brother collects already on all of us, it's like when I say, what is Facebook? And people say it's a social media company. No, it's a data company. It's big data. That's what it's all about. I have no illusions about privacy, but and those of you that are putting that in the chat, yeah, people were saying, wait a dang minute. If it can track a dog, where is it tracking me all over the place? Where is it tracking my children, right? And so, see, Sarah, and you're kind of like me. I'm like, I haven't done anything wrong. I really don't care if I'm being tracked or not, right? I'm hoping if someone kidnaps me, they can find me, like the dog that goes missing. But just understand, there are two sides and different perspectives to all of this. So when you're talking to businesses in your community, you might get that pushback and understand that it's legitimate, right? It's just different perspectives. Which brings us to the cautionary information about AI. This is what you should understand and help businesses understand that, first of all, it can be wrong. I mean, the information you get can just be wrong. And you might find that if you want that the report from Natchez, Mississippi, there might be wrong information. Like I said, I haven't fact checked it. When businesses are using it, especially for predictive type analytics, if they have poor historical records, it's not going to be great for them. We've talked about the privacy. There are legitimate concerns out there about not only kind of the big brother, but also I'm putting my business data into these systems, right? What could happen to that? And another thing to be mindful of is that AI isn't necessarily a put it in my business, yay, it works, right? It's going to require ongoing maintenance just like any other software that you install. You always want to be the human in the loop when using AI. It's not a replacement for us. So how can you create those AI learning pathways? One way, and this is an example from Tennessee. Again, I'm not going to show favoritism about what the University of Georgia is doing, although I will tell you about us in a second. But have educational programs with networking opportunities to find out how businesses are using it. Hold demonstrations and pilot programs. Technical support networks with local experts. And I've already talked about this. Check in with your community. Ask them, hey, we're going to have a roundtable on AI. How are you using it, right? And when you're informed, you can kind of steer those conversations towards, okay, you've said Chat GPT a lot. Did you know that AI can also? Right? You're not saying use it for the sake of using it, but letting them know what the possibilities are. And that brings us to us, right? So the UGA Small Business Development Center is a public service and outreach unit of the University of Georgia. What we're most known for is our one-on-one consulting. And so that's what, if you've got a small business, a restaurant, that type of thing in your area, and they need help on implementing AI, or anything, social media strategy, human resources. I need standard operating procedures. I need to understand my financials. Anything other than legal and taxes, we consult with them one-on-one. As I've mentioned, it's completely confidential. Yeah, I see you, Ellen. One second. And it's at no cost, which is the what? Yes, no cost, no catch. So if you've got small businesses in your community, ideally 3 or more employees, that's where we really excel. We would love to work with them. And also continuing education, you can also bring us into your community. Some of you already have. Some of you have brought me into your communities. Thanks for that. We can hold those training classes for you and for your community. We've got 18 offices across the state. So we serve all 159 counties in the state of Georgia. There is an office that serves you. So you can go to georgiasbdc.org/locations and find the office closest to you. That brings us to questions. Ellen, I told you I wouldn't forget about you. Go ahead. And you can put your questions in the chat too.
I actually don't have a question. I was trying to troubleshoot. We've had several messages of people not having access to the chat. So I guess now is the perfect time to bring this up because they could like ask questions during. So yeah, I was trying to like dig through and see what the issue was. So I apologize for my hand raised.
Oh, no worries whatsoever. But this is a good point. Thank you for that. So if you've been unable to see the chat, or if you want to just ask a question, put your hands up and I will be happy to call you out and you can unmute yourself or put those in the chat. Not seeing any. I'll give you some time to think about it. I do want, because I promised you I would make these slides available. So my contact information is on the screen. If you scan that QR code, it will ask you like your name, email address, and how it will help you. I will be happy to email those slides out. I'll try to get them to you this afternoon, actually. And if you won't, just put a note in there, just say Natchez or Mississippi, and I'll send you that report from Claude too. Again, I have not fact checked it. I literally downloaded it from Claude, stole some screenshots for the presentation, and we'll be happy to send it to you so you can just see what Claude can do. And also use those prompts for yourself. Go play with it. Have fun. All right, not seeing other questions. I was told I'm going to stop talking at 1/4 till. It's 1/4 till-ish. Cherie, take it away.
Thanks, Robbie. All right, if anybody comes up with any other questions, definitely put them in the chat or holler out. But we wanted to just open it up now to see if anybody had any issues they wanted to discuss or ask the group their opinion on. Y'all sure are quiet today.
I was about to say, is everyone's mind blown or are y'all asleep? I'm worried.
I'll just make a comment if I can.
Go ahead, Lucretia. That was Lucretia, right?
I was going to say, can you hear me? I didn't know if you could hear me or
Yes.
not.
Yes.
Okay, I'll just make I thought the information was very nicely done, specifically from an economic development standpoint. As a matter of fact, this morning alone, I had a commissioner who was asking about a project we're working on, and they were looking at it from the ROI was the same terminology that she utilized. And one of my reference points was the economic and plan report that we normally do when we do big projects. So to know that, because I've heard of Claude, but I've not utilized Claude in that regard. So to know that database is available for the full context of reporting is good. I thought it was great information.
Thank you. And also too, I didn't note throughout the presentation, you might have noticed that there are some hyperlinks, like it will say source. Any of those business statistics, you can click those links in the PDF that you get and you can go directly to that, because it is good to be informed, and those stats change all the time about the ROI that businesses are seeing.
Yeah. So Robbie, which Small Business Development Center, which region are you in?
So I'm out of our state office, and that means that technically I work from home, but home is kind of my car, because like I'm home now. I'll be leaving for Athens this afternoon, and then I'll be in Atlanta this evening. So I'm all over the place. But yeah, so Athens is my home base, really. Yes. And I saw another hand that went. Rosemary, yeah.
Hey, I'm Rosemary from the city of Young Harris up here in North Georgia Mountains. And this has been wildly helpful. I'm definitely going to give Claude a try. I guess on the flip side of AI is, how does a company balance, though, the human interaction with the automated? Because I really hate getting an automated voice directed message. And I feel like in some ways, companies who have an actual person answering a phone might be able to be a little more successful in the future than those who automate everything. So how do you find that balance? And I know this is way too big for our discussion, but what are some of your initial thoughts to that type of balance?
That's a great question, actually. And so there was a term I used, human in the loop. That's an actual real kind of AI term. And it means just that. It's very obvious, I think, to almost everyone by this point when the robots are talking to you, right? And so part of it is understanding the use case. Again, if I'm calling a restaurant to see what the specials of the day are, or if they're open, I really don't care if it's a robot or not. If I'm calling to, and I'm already maybe upset about something, and I don't want to mess with the robots. It's understanding your customers and the foundation of where you're using AI. A lot of business, I don't want to say a lot, we've seen businesses that are implementing it and walking away, and they're losing touch with their customers. They're losing touch that I don't want to talk to a robot, or I can never get a human on the phone. Even the company that I showed you that had Burger Bots, that amazing robot, like I could stand there and watch that all day. If you go to their website, the Burger Bots website, they actually have a phone number and email address at the bottom and says, want to speak to a human. So even this very AI, like that's their whole shtick, knows when humans are necessary. There's a podcast I listen to, and it starts out, the podcast does, I don't even know who the parent company is, but it says 100% human. That's their thing now. Understand there's a place for the robots, and there's not a place for the robots.
That's great. Thank you so much.
It's a great question. Glenda and Nicole. I just saw Glenda's. Oh, you're one person. Okay. How did it do that? Okay. You're muted if you're trying to. You're muted.
I haven't done this. I used to be on Zoom calls all the time. I've gotten out of practice. You're muted. When it comes to social media specifically, which platform do you feel is the most effective?
You mean the AI, like for generating
AI.
captions and things like that?
Mm-hmm.
The one that works best for you. And
Okay, so
that's
there's
the
not
truth.
one they're all equal in terms of capability, because I think for us, like all downtowns, we have multiple projects going on and we're trying to do a lot. And we've done really well with our social media growth, but we know that there's more that we can do. So I didn't know if there was one that was more of like the gold standard in terms of social.
Not the gold standard. However, I will say if any of you are using ones or your businesses are using ones that you love, feel free to put that in the chat. But there are things like Constant Contact, Sprout Social, Hootsuite, those kind of social media management platforms that allow you to schedule and look at the analytics. Those have AI integrated where if you put in a caption, it can help rewrite it. Meta, Facebook and Instagram, they have AI tools. Help me refine this. But I say find the platform that you like. I'm just going to say ChatGPT just because we've said that. Train it on your business, right? On this is my tone. These are the social posts that have done well. Use this in your future output, right? We can have a sidebar on that. Once you train it, just try it. Use one prompt here, use one prompt here, and see what gives you the best results. And always, for any platform, use it as inspiration, but always rewrite it so that it's your tone. It is, like I said, it's very obvious when people are using AI and walking away.
Robbie, I was looking at the SBDC's training calendar, and it looks like you've got something coming up on Monday the 23rd, Marketing Monday, how to make the most of marketing and technology, and then also using AI to become a marketing hero. Are you teaching those classes?
I am not. So Marketing Monday, I can tell just by the name that that's coming out of our Kennesaw office. Typically, they have guest speakers from industry, meaning marketing firms. You can check the instructor and it'll give you information. The second one on Tuesday, that's coming out of our Gwinnett office. So that's Dr. John Stoll, and he is bringing in a marketing company to kind of co-present with him. But thank you for that. We have tons of marketing and AI classes coming up. Some I'm teaching, some I'm not, some in person, some not. So avail yourself of that resource, and I'll go ahead and just drop that in the chat too. And also, if you would like us to come into your area, I mean, it can be me specifically, or if you say, you know what, businesses want to hear about marketing or whatever, reach out to your local office and they can either bring me in. I'm doing some with our Statesboro office in April on branding, or they have their local instructors.
Thank you.
That was a long way for me to say, no, I am not teaching those two classes.
No, but I wanted folks to know, they are available, whether for you as a downtown manager or if you're wanting to push this out to your local businesses that need help.
Yep. And I'll shout out to, so Cornelia, I don't know if y'all are on the call, but so Gainesville was my home office before I switched to the state office. And so we did a lot of work in Northeast Georgia. And Jessie Owensby, she has moved to another community, but she was in Cornelia. She would bring us in all the time, and she would get businesses in a room, and I think it was, I don't know, $39 or something. I mean, very nominal for UGA faculty to come in and teach something. And she would just get in touch with small businesses. What do you need to learn? Or from knowing the businesses, she would say, this is what you need to know. And she would get them in a room and bring us in. So that's also an option as well.
Any last questions?
Thank you so much for having me. If I can just say in my last minute before I step away altogether. Thank you, Stephanie. So Stephanie's hosting AI training. Yeah, and feel free, y'all put that out there. If you've got your own training that's going on, I'm a marketer. Market yourself. I love when people do that. But just thank you so much. Y'all were a great group, and I will get those slides out to you if you scan the QR code. If you forgot, shoot me an email, and I'll send those out to you. But thank you so much. We're a really great group today.
Thank you, Robbie. We really appreciate you joining us today. And with that, y'all can go, or if you have questions for the team, we'll stay on for 10 or minutes or so if you'd like to ask questions offline. Y'all have a great week.